Meantime, oil is spiking higher today, trading above the $94 mark for the first time since August of last year. How much higher can prices go, and what will it mean for the consumer? CNBC contributor Helima Croft joins us now. She's the head of global commodity strategy at RBC Capital Markets. The inventory numbers out of Cushing was behind the spike today. Helima, where do you see oil going? You just spoke to the Saudi oil minister in Calgary. So how firm will the Saudis be, do you think, in getting to 100 or going in that direction?
I mean, right now we clearly see momentum to $100 at Brent. The big question is, we have an OPEC JMMC meeting next week. The Saudi oil minister said, yes, we made the decision to extend our unilateral 1 million barrel a day cut through the end of the year. But he also said, we're going to review that decision every month, and we can go either way. It comes with a backdrop, against the backdrop of U.S.-Saudi diplomatic negotiations for this big grand bargain. The question is, will there be an energy component of a potential U.S.-Saudi deal? I think the Biden administration would clearly like more Saudi barrels on the market because, look, there are not a lot of great options out there for this administration to get crude prices down. They've already done the big SPR release. The question is, are they really going to do more? We're not hearing any more blockbuster SPR releases. They've done deals with Iran, but those barrels are already in the market. So it's not clear really where the administration goes next for additional barrels.
I mean, it seems like they really don't have any tools in their toolkit at this point, Helima, in terms of trying to get oil prices down in an election year. If you just take a look at big oil here in the United States, I mean, companies are not going to be, operating more rigs to get oil prices down. I mean, they're run differently these days. They're committed to returning capital to shareholders. They're not committing as much of their free cash flow to new exploration. They're not operating as many rigs compared to even a year ago. I mean, that hope also seems to be gone to increase the supply from here.
Again, that's why all eyes are really on Saudi Arabia and the rest of OPEC. I mean, what countries sit on spare capacity that they can deploy quickly? It's countries like Saudi Arabia. So again, I would say pay close attention to what is happening in terms of the broader diplomatic discussions with Riyadh. A number of senior U.S. officials have been in Saudi Arabia over the past couple of months. Again, it's a deal that's going to encompass security, nuclear, Saudi recognition of Israel potentially, but obviously this oil angle is part of the negotiations because, again, the administration doesn't have a lot of good options. They'd like to get this Iraqi pipeline back up online. It's been down for months. There's a question, could you potentially get some more Venezuelan barrels on the market if they do sanctions relief? But that sanctions relief is not likely to come till next year. So the immediate picture does not look spectacular in terms of additional barrels.
Helima, has the U.S. replenished the SPR, or is that something that we don't know until after the fact? Do we know if they replenished? I know that you talked about their toolbox, but do we know if they've replenished already?
So the SPR is down nearly half from 2020 levels. Now, in the summer, the start of the summer, they talked about being in buyback mode. There were indications of some initial buybacks, but then they paused buybacks. So the question is, will the administration potentially do some more smaller scale SPR releases? That could be politically challenging, but again, it all goes down to what's your option suite. Now, I think they would like to get this grand bargain with Saudi Arabia, get the Saudis to start tapering down that unilateral cut. And again, the Saudi oil minister did say last week in Calgary they could go either way with that unilateral cut. So again, I think the emphasis will be appealing to Riyadh, but then they'd have to think about fallback options. I don't think an SPR release, a smaller one, is off the table, but not a preferred option. And a bigger challenge for the administration is the product shortages. I mean, look at the diesel inventories. Those are perilously low. And the Russians last week announced a export ban on some products. And so look for challenges for the administration in a tight products market as we head into winter as well.
Helima, the cure for higher oil prices, high oil prices, I mean, basically at some point there's demand destruction. But when you think about that level for demand destruction, does that level come down in an economic situation that we have now where consumers are feeling more strapped? They're faced with inflation in other places. Interest rates are higher. How does that get adjusted, if at all?
I mean, one of the big challenges is you would think at this price it would be uneconomic for refineries to run these barrels. But when we look at the product shortfalls, look at the situation for diesel. for a refinery, it is economic to still run those barrels. So given the issues that we're seeing in terms of tight products markets, there's no indication yet that at this price point we're going to see demand destruction. And so, again, I think that is a really big challenge for the administration as we head into winter. Are we going to see potential product shortages, particularly in places like the East Coast of the United States?